I built the best all-around PC for the new Nvidia RTX 5080. This beautiful looking PC build will destroy 4K and 1440p resolution gaming, achieving very high FPS in both esports shooters and high demanding titles. And not only that, but also this is one of the fastest PCs for content creation and productivity work. So if you are looking to build a new PC that can do it all and on top of that looks amazing, then you came to the right place, because today I'll show you every component from this system and of course the level of gaming performance that you can achieve in different type of games and different monitor resolutions. And I will also show you how to make this PC cheaper while keeping the same level of gaming performance and aesthetics. The link to this exact same PC will be down below in the video description with the latest prices and availability in your region. And I will also leave a link to a Prebuilt PC in case you want to buy a gaming system instead of building one yourself, because maybe you just want to plug and play. My name is Valentino. That being said, let's start. First, I'll quickly talk about the components inside of this system, and if you don't understand a lot about components, don't worry about it. I will try to explain as simple as possible, and then I will get to the level of gaming performance and more exciting stuff about this system. So the first component is going to be the CPU. This is going to be the Ryzen 9 9900X. In my opinion, one of the best all-around CPUs in the entire market. It's not the most expensive one, and it has 12 cores, and it's going to be amazing with the RTX 5080. The reason why I went with this one instead of something like a Ryzen 7 9800X 3D, well, this one is quite cheaper and it's going to give you better performance in terms of content creation, AI development, and any kind of productivity work. That's why this system is so great in terms of both gaming and content creation. Now, the CPU is quite important for gaming in CPU demanding titles or esports shooters like Fortnite or Valorant, and you will see that this CPU is going to be amazing for those type of games in just a moment. Now, for the CPU cooler, you get a 360mm liquid cooler from Corsair. This one looks amazing, honestly. We have an all-white build with RGB. I absolutely love it. And of course, if you don't have the same taste as me, you can go black and get the black version of this Corsair 360 liquid cooler, which by the way performs amazing alongside the Ryzen 9 9900X, so you will have no issues when it comes to your CPU temps. Talking about aesthetics, I also went with a Corsair case in the 3500X, and I added some fans myself from Corsair as well. That way we have the same ecosystem. You can control the lighting and fan speeds from the Corsair software, and honestly it's very simple to do so. In my opinion, it looks very clean, and in terms of how noisy the fans are while gaming, well, they are actually pretty quiet. Then for the motherboard, you get a premium X870 motherboard, which is amazing for gamers and creators. And of course, it has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth included, so you will not have to buy anything extra. Here I went with 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, 6000 MHz CL30 timings. This is a white kit from Kingston. It has RGB and it looks amazing. But honestly, at the moment, you can get cheaper kits that are going to perform the same. And I will be talking about that in just a second. However, 32 gigs of RAM is going to be perfectly fine for content creation, productivity work, and also gaming. Now, if you're a professional content creator, you may want to go with 64 gigs of RAM, but honestly, for most people, 32 gigs is going to be just fine. Then I went with a Gen 4 SSD, which is going to be ideal for this system. And then last but not least, of course, let's talk about the graphics card. I went with the beast, the RTX 5080. This is a 4K and 1440p GPU that's going to perform amazing in just any type of game. And if you don't believe me, well, I have tested this system with the 5080 in Cyberpunk 2077 4K max settings, and I was able to run this game at 60 plus FPS on average with no issues. And then when I dropped down to high settings, I was able to average well over 80 FPS. Now, if you turn on ray tracing ultra and you turn on DLSS quality, then you will be averaging over 80 FPS as well. So if you want to play with ray tracing enabled, you can play at 4K with no issues. And then when it comes to esports shooters, while testing Fortnite performance mode at 4K, I was able to average well over 400 FPS. So feel free to go with a high refresh rate 4K monitor. I mean, you can easily fit a 360Hz 4K one if you really want to. And in terms of FPS average in different type of games, well, at 4K high to ultra settings in very high demanding titles, I was able to average 89 FPS. You can pause the video if you want to see any specific game. And then if you want to play esports shooters in competitive settings at 4K, I was able to average over 400 FPS. So again, feel free to pause the video if you want to see the exact numbers for these games. Now at 1440p resolution, I tested Cyberpunk 2077, and at 1440p ultra settings with no ray tracing or DLSS, I was able to average over 130 FPS, which is a very high number considering the type of game that we are playing. So that's why I decided to turn on ray tracing ultra with the Psycho option. So this is one of the most high demanding settings that you can try in Cyberpunk 2077. Well, I was able to average over 60 FPS, so you can easily play any game at 1440p even with ray tracing ultra native resolution with no issues. Of course, you can always turn on the DLSS quality if you want to and if you want more FPS, and let me tell you, you will not notice a difference between native resolution and the DLSS quality. Honestly, I can't tell the difference, and I'm not talking about fake frames here. I'm just talking about DLSS, which is not the same as frame generation. That's why for these tests, I only went with either native resolution or DLSS, but no frame generation because those frames are not the same as the native ones. So overall, you are getting an amazing system for any kind of task, whether it's gaming, content creation, or productivity work. And the total price for this system by the time of filming is 2473 USD, which is a very expensive price, but in my opinion is worth it if you want a 4K ultra PC and you have around 2000 USD to spend. Now you can easily get the same aesthetics and level of performance if you downgrade some stuff, which I will be talking about right now. If you go from a 360 liquid cooler to a 241 and then you downgrade the motherboard a little bit, which don't worry about it, the level of performance will be the same. And then on top of that, you go from a 1000 watt power supply to an 850 watt power supply, which is still 80 rated, so you are not risking your components or anything like that. Then the price will be around 2200 USD, and on top of that you get 2 terabytes of SSD inside of this system, so you get a cheaper price and more storage. You will have this cheaper alternative down below in the video description with the latest prices and availability as well. Now by the time of filming, the 5080 is very hard to find in stock, so if you can't find the 5080 in stock while watching this video and you want a PC with the 5080, then I recommend you getting a Prebuilt PC, and I will also leave that Prebuilt PC down in the video description. That one will perform very similarly to this system. It's also white, it's a bit more expensive because it's a Prebuilt PC, but at least it has the RTX 5080 in stock, so you don't have to wait for you to buy a new system. And also in the top link in the description, you will find my personal PC help in case you're looking for some advice with your next system, whether it's a Prebuilt PC or a PC build. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.